Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has taken yet another loss, this time in Osceola County, where the school board decided on Tuesday night not to implement the state's new school chaplain program, which was controversial from the start. So now, what's interesting here is the Osceola board was actually the first in Central Florida and among the first in the state to consider the program, which would, again, replace or allow church chaplains to replace social workers and counselors, to act as social workers and counselors in the school. So now this was signed into law in the spring by Governor DeSantis, and I guess it was expected to be adopted all over the state, but not so much. They ran into some problems. On Tuesday, the board heard about an hour of public comment, mostly from people who were opposed to it, before voting 3-2 against it. Now, this comes after the board previously delayed the decision following the Satanic Temple promising to take part in the program. So mainly,
it's the devil, okay?
They tried to get into it, which I love. In a letter to the board members, Rachel Chambliss, executive director of the operations for the Satanic Temple, wrote this, quote, "While we believe that investing in licensed professional counselors would be more beneficial to Osceola County students, we are enthusiastic about the opportunity this policy presents for our ministers of Satan. We're eager to build positive, supportive relationships with students and become an active part of the school community." The response from Floridians interested in becoming ministers of Satan and satanic chaplains has been overwhelming. With hundreds of members of the Satanic Temple already in Osceola County, we anticipate a significant increase in the satanic clergy members actively participating in the Osceola community in the near future. I absolutely love it. They get this letter and they're like, "Oh no, I think we've made a big mistake if we adopt this. Oh no." Again, the fact that a non-Christian group wanted to be part of this is why they're like, maybe this isn't such a good idea. We're going to have to take some time and think about this, okay? It's not like they weren't warned, okay? When DeSantis signed this bill, he was asked about the possibility that Satanists would want in. Now, DeSantis responded like, "Oh, no, don't worry about it. That'll never happen." Quote, "We're not playing these games in Florida. That is not a religion. That is not qualifying to be able to participate in this." What do you mean that's not a religion? That's literally Christianity. Satan is part of Christianity. How could you not know that? What are you, an idiot?
You idiot.
I don't know. Again, the Satanic Temple is not only a religion, it's actually part of Christianity, as I mentioned, but it's also, and this is what's important here, recognized as a religious group by the Internal Revenue Service, meaning that the government of the United States recognizes them as a religious group. So, if the school accepted chaplains from a Christian church, but rejected Satanists, well, then they would open themselves up to litigation based on the First Amendment. I'm just saying. Now, as a result of all these legal considerations, Board Chair Heather Cahoon supported a delay because she wanted to think more about the First Amendment concerns and, quote, federal litigation that we could receive if we were to approve this as it is today. Now, to try to clear up those concerns, of course, Florida officials released a model policy for school boards last week. Now, there were some issues with it. It would exclude certain groups, like Satanists, altogether, because it defined a chaplain as an individual who was officially authorized by the leadership of a religion under the religion's governing principles to conduct religious exercises. That's oddly specific, and it's intentional, would leave out a lot of people. That model would also require all chaplains to have a graduate degree in counseling or theology and have 2 years experience, and would give principals the ability to reject volunteers if they felt those individuals would go against the, quote, pedagogical interests of the school. So, yeah, this model that was released is rife with constitutional issues. In fact, Americans for United for Separation of Church and State pointed out in a statement that, quote, the model policy would exclude some minority faiths or humanists, for example, even some Christian traditions like Baptists, Quakers, and non-denominational congregations could be left out. And it requires school principals to determine if someone who applies to be a school chaplain is a member of a state-sanctioned faith. Principals must then decide if the chaplain's religion is led by a hierarchy, worships a supernatural entity, and imposes moral duties. So that is not the job of a principal. Making them dive into theology to judge whether someone is allowed to volunteer at your school, which is, again, publicly funded, that's a bit unconstitutional. There's some problems there, all right? And that's exactly why the board ultimately rejected this by a 3-2 margin. Sad day. But a great day for the Constitution. Now, of course, not for those who supported it. Okay, two of the board members, specifically DeSantis appointee Scott Ramsey and John Argaio, they were pissed. Argaio actually had a complete meltdown, saying this, quote, that the adherents to the radical leftism are on the other side. These are the ideologies that are fighting against these programs. So, radical leftism. He added, if there's a student who came up here asking for, hey, I want to be chemically castrated because I'm a transgender ideologist, first of all, that's what? That's not what they would say. All right. The school board members on this dais would pay for the Uber to send that student to go to the clinic. Insane. No, this rant is insane. Here, in this situation, a student comes and they ask for spiritual guidance because they need something that is different than what we're offering. And they want it cut down or provide some lukewarm voting because they're running for office. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Okay, if a student wants spiritual guidance, why didn't they just go to the church? It's not like they're literally right there. There are churches like everywhere. Come on! This is ridiculous. He then ends it by saying, we can be honest, or we can be crazy, mentally ill. I'm not going to be intimidated by a bunch of crowds of people who don't care anything about our kids. I don't care what all these crazy people say. Crazy. They're all crazy. They're mentally ill and they're pro-Satan. Oh, no. I actually lied. He's not done. He then added this. The program is dead. The school board of Osceola County allied itself with the Satanists, killing the program. And it's crazy that the majority of the school board here in Osceola County allied itself with the Satanic Temple. No, it actually didn't, though. You know what the majority of the school board allied itself with? The Constitution of the United States. I know, he may not be familiar with this, right? With this concept, with this document. It's a great document. You should probably read it, okay? Specifically, the First Amendment. It's right there. It's at the top, okay? You might want to read that about religion, okay? Religion in public schools. Just saying. Just saying. No, you want to know what's crazy? Because he keeps talking about crazy mentally ill people, right? No, what's crazy is trying to shove religion into our schools, okay? A religion that, any religion, I personally think they're all kind of nuts. But, that again, that's just my perspective. This is my, praying to an invisible man in the sky. It's not for me. It's not for me, all right? Crazy is wanting that into your schools. That's what church is for. You want to believe in that? That's totally fine. You want religion? Go to church. You want school? You want facts? You want education? You go to a school. That's it. That's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a separate thing. Both can exist simultaneously. You can go to school and then you can go to a church for your spiritual needs. Okay? That's it. Now, that said, getting back to the Constitution, both DeSantis and Argaio are not exactly familiar with said document, or more importantly, they just don't care. They don't care what it says. They don't care what the rules are. Because rules, that's not for us. No, that's for them. That's for you guys. No. I don't agree. And again, neither does the Constitution. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.